Are discomfort and happiness or joy really opposites? Is it really that these are two parts of a medal, the same medal? And I would like to share today my opinion about that and my experience from a non-dual approach. Because when you look at pain, or when you look at discomfort, or when you look at happiness, joy, or comfortable feelings, yeah, then we tend to believe that these are two opposite things, that when we have pain, that we strive for happiness. Yet we are comparing two things with each other that are actually just two experiences. There is no opposite in it. There is no opposite of pain. Pain is pain. Pain has its functions biologically, physically, it has its functions emotionally. When we are in pain, then we are tending to get help. But it is just an experience. Something happened in life, or something happened to our body, and then we are experiencing pain. When we're experiencing joy or comfort, it's also an experience. Something is happening in our life, and that produces a certain emotion, certain feeling. And we have, of course, through our limbic system and our brainstem that is merely busy in order to survive. Yeah, we have a programmed in order to go for joyful feelings and to avoid painful feelings, because we are painful feelings means the body is perhaps injured, and we should avoid to be injured, and for that purpose we should avoid to feel pain, so we should not go there. But this is directed by a brain that has no time consciousness. That brain does not know anything about future and past. Yet we do have a cerebral cortex that has time consciousness, and we can worry about things that are not there and experience pains that are not relevant at this moment. And they are also communicating to us, but they're not dangerous. We are having memories from the past. We are thinking of them. We are remembering them. The past is totally not dangerous. It's no problem in the past because it has gone, it is done. Yeah. Yet our system is still reacting as if it is happening now, because it is transporting the memories and the emotions always into the now. And then we are acting upon it, we are feeling them, and then we still want to reject those kind of feelings, and we don't want them. There are very hardly in our lives really situations that someone stands in front of us with a knife and that there is a real danger which invites us to take a direct action. Yeah? So where this system was ever made for. So it is very much important to knowing that we have this kind of ability to worry about the future and to feel pains from the past, and that we plug them into the now, and it causes a lot of problems to us. And even if we don't plug them into the now and we are thinking about them just like that, yeah, like the worries coming into the future, it's still not happening now. Yeah, it would be much smarter to just to see it and to see the message behind it when you worry, to really to analyze with a healthy brain, you know, what is true here. What is there something that I should really do now in order to prevent a future happening? Can I do something with it? Yeah, which is very, very helpful to do that. Yeah, but after we have done it, it is good that to acknowledge that this is just something we experience. Yeah, and not to think like, I must strive all the time for happy feelings, for joyful feelings, which just this limbic system does and the brainstem does, because it thinks that otherwise it won't survive. Yeah, because it can only deal with real dangers and real things that are happening. Yeah, and this is why it is so important for us to acknowledge, yeah, that both of them, they are not opposites. It's not that we should just strive for this one and avoid this one. This is very, let me just say, underdeveloped thinking, that we are directing our attention continuously for pleasurable feelings. That makes also that we cannot really achieve something, because as soon as something gets a little hard, a little tough, we are jumping out of it, or we are stopping doing it even, or we are straining and we are pushing our body, and but that is all because we have then the resistance to what is. And we don't need that resistance. It's a pure acknowledgement of something that is there, and there is no opposite in it at all. So when we acknowledge that with our intellectual brain and with our intuitive brain, that there is actually no danger when we are having emotions that having emotions, let me just say like that, because all of it is driven by certain emotions. This is also why the emotional brain, the limbic system, is there, such an important thing to acknowledge. Of course, it has a message for us. It will tell us something. We do something with it, but there is no reason to avoid it, to not wanting it, because there is no danger. And this is why it is very important that we acknowledge that there are no opposites in pain and in pleasure. There are no opposites. They are just two experiences present. Both of them are valid. Both of them are giving us information. And we should just deal with that information. And knowing that it wants to force us, because directed by the limbic system, to really always wanting to have positive feelings. Yet this is not natural. It's not something which is, life has this and that. It's just like it. It has opposites. We call life in opposites. Like wet and dry. This is the opposite of it. But what silly would it be to strive for dry and not wanting wet? This would be funny, to do that. And here it is the same. They are just two things, like potatoes and noodles. They are two things. Why comparing? Why saying these opposites? There are no opposites in life. No real opposites. They are just things that are existing. And we see them, we look at them, and we are also aware that we do have a brain inside of ourselves. That is a survival mechanism brain, which is very, very useful when you are in real danger, to react and to say like, okay, what is happening here? I have to protect myself. But this is very hardly ever happening. We don't need to protect ourselves. We simply need to acknowledge when we're feeling something, that we say like, okay, what is this? And when we are feeling something in a meeting or so, that you feel like, okay, and now I'm feeling uncomfortable here, it is very good to listen to that, not wanting to avoid it. When we resist it, when we avoid it, then we start struggling with it. We start not just perhaps resisting certain feelings, but we are resisting ourselves, because it is part of ourselves. So we need this deeper understanding of it, that there are no opposites. There are no opposites. They are just situations that are belonging to life, all of them. And they're all communicating to us. And we are invited to listen and to understand them. And that is all. So this is why I work with a non-dual approach, a no-resistance approach, which does not mean that it is holy, or that we are just, when we have no resistance, we are just having positive feelings. That is just the same nonsense as when we strive for dryness only when there is also wetness. And we might need all of them. In certain situations, and so are also all of those situations good. Inside of us as well, all our emotions are good, and they're communicating with us. And we have to transcend this protective brain that continuously wants us to believe that we are in danger, even when it comes as a shadow around the corner, and we start being louder in the meeting, or whatever we do. All traits that we do have the capacity to be on the protective side. This is often where they come from, how we have gotten them, but they also have the very same capacity, has also or trait has also the capacity to move towards the constructing and the enrichment side. Yeah, and both also in life has its purpose. Sometimes it's good to lash out. Some people are just better in understanding when you lash out, and when you instinctively lash out and you protect yourself, then for that situation, for that moment, is probably the best thing that you could do. And when you realize it did not work, because you look at it and you say like, okay, it's good. Yeah, lashing out. What is lashing out? It is actually a firm expression of setting boundaries. Okay, so when I invite that into my life, yeah, firm expressing, firmly setting boundaries, I don't need to shout or to scream or to whatever to do that. I can firmly express myself also without these kind of forming tools, as I call them, these kind of emotions, that made me, this fear, what makes it very, the other feels then threatened by it. But I can express my boundary without a threat, just firmly communicating. How strong is that? Yeah. But don't want not to do it. When you resist it, you will never see the beauty in it. You will never understand what it actually really is for you, this thing that you do have, this trait that you're expressing. So I invite you, when you find that interesting, to live a non-dual approach towards yourself and in everything that you are, to see what it really is, to understand yourself really better and in your completeness. I'm getting just a visitor here. Yeah. And then or would you understand life better, what it is in its completeness. We are part of nature, we are part of life, and everything is just a perfect play altogether. And if you find that interesting, join me in one of my workshops, or come to the NEWEX Hub every first and third Thursday at 8 p.m. East African time. Yeah, and join me in it. And if it speaks to you, and you also love to live in harmony with life, it does not mean that you are only always in bliss, but you are absolutely content and satisfied and joyful when you understand the deeper meaning of everything, also of everything that lives within you. And when you have interest in that, join me on one of my events. You are mostly welcome, and I'm looking forward to meet you there.